I've been doing quite a lot of music on my channel lately, and because I've been doing quite a lot of music, it's given me an idea for another discussion. The subject of this one is what constitutes heavy metal in your opinion. And I was going to this day centre a long time ago when I was in my early 20s. There were two guys going there that were attending the meetings of a Salvation Army. And one of them expressed a liking for the song Ace of Spades by Motorhead. And the other one said, "You shouldn't be listening to that. Aren't we told at our meetings that heavy metal's devil's music?" Well, he says, he says, and he said, and his reply was that didn't apply in the case of Christian heavy metal. Well, funnily enough, the band. Recently, they wanted to name a heavy metal element after Lemmy, the late bassist from the group Motorhead, and there was some controversy over that because the band Motorhead they didn't all consider themselves to be a heavy metal band. Lemmy, I've got it written down here, and this is what Lemmy said. We were not heavy metal, we were a rock and roll band, still are. Everyone always described us as heavy metal, even when I told them otherwise. Why won't people listen? And similarly, the band AC/DC have been variously described as hard rock, heavy metal, blues rock. But according to the band themselves, they are a rock and roll band, nothing more, nothing less. And in their early days, actually AC/DC were actually roped in with the punk genre in their early days. But there's another band that's Status Quo. I found this book in the library at college that classifies Status Quo as a heavy metal band. Well, when I mentioned this to one of my friends, it was something of heavy metal fan himself. He said, "No, they're not. They got roped in with it." Well, if you the thing is, if you consider heavy metal to be devil's music, and you want to avoid demonic influence, I think the best thing to do will be to listen to ABBA. I think just restrict yourself to listening to ABBA because they've never been described as heavy metal. They're not universally considered to be a rock band, really. ABBA aren't. Towards the end, I think some people thought towards the end of their career they were getting a bit disco. But I've done discussions before on why a Christian should be selective about what sort of music they listen to. When I've spotted up a few facts for these discussions. I did a series of discussions on what sort of music is suitable for a Christian to listen to. I don't know if anyone remembers that. There was a series on TV donkeys years ago with Neil Pearson in it called Heaven on Earth, and it was about this religious group. They're very similar to the Amish. They lived in separate communities from the rest of the world, and they had all their own rules like the Amish did. And what's happened is this Neil Pearson, his wife's having an affair, and the marriage is starting to go on the rocks a bit because of this, and also he loses his job, and the house gets repossessed, and his wife was brought up in this religious group that were very similar to the Amish. They lived in a separate community. They didn't mix with the rest of the world. They lived in a separate community from everybody else. And what the idea is that he's an atheist. He's been an atheist for many years, and he's actually been an atheist, and he's thought that half the trouble in the world is caused by religion. But because he's got him, when he's got mixing with these other, with these members of this particular group, it's suddenly hit him between the eyes. Well, he's felt that they're the true religion, that they've got it right, and he changes. He becomes like a religious fanatic. And in one scene, his wife has got one of the members of their religion to listen to this cassette tape, and he says, "Churches teaches us pop music comes from the devil." Well, she tells him to have a listen to it, and see what you think. And the husband walks in and tells her that she's encouraging him to listen to forbidden music. Well, she says it's your bloody tape. But that was the old music that he used to listen to before he joined this religious group. I mean, at the end of the day, you could say what is and what isn't pop music. I mean, but pop music was a movement that began in the 50s. Well, Frank Sinatra was no stranger to the pop charts in the 50s, but he couldn't really call him a pop singer because his career began, because he was too old. His career began during the 40s. Really, so he wasn't Frank Sinatra wasn't a pop singer in the true. No, in the literal, not in the literal sense, he wasn't, because he wasn't the age where you could call him a pop singer. Neither was Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby was the same age as my grandmother. He was in the pop shops at first, but you know what I mean. He'd been bringing records out for a long time. No, before he'd been bringing records out in the 1920s. That was a long time before pop music was around. So. You know, can you tie everything up with the same brush? Like, can you just put things into a category and say don't listen to them? It's a difficult thing to say. I'll do a part two of this discussion when I'm going to swat up a few more. I didn't really do much revision for this first part of the exam, but I'm going to do more swatting on this particular subject and go into more detail about it. No, I might do a part two. I might do a part three even. After I've swatted up, and I always start off with I always start off with the basics, basically. Then in the part one, then I do a bit more revision and go on to the part two and part three and so forth. That's how my YouTube channel works. Anyway. But I'm impressed with it. I must say I'm impressed with the amount of success that my channel is getting lately. Thanks to you all. That's what I'm saying. Thanks. Bravo to you all. Keep it up. Keep watching my videos. Anyway, bye for now.